Hi, I'm Coach Dick DeLaney. I was the head baseball coach here at Philadelphia University from 1978 to 1987. Very proud time of building the program here at Philadelphia, and at that time we were Philadelphia Textile. A little bit of background about that time. We really didn't have a conference to play in at that time, so we played mostly all the Division I schools in this area along with whoever else we could schedule. And that's the only way we could possibly qualify for a tournament. And we did very well. After the first couple of years, we more than held our own and had a lot of successful years here at Philadelphia University. A lot of great guys played for me back in the day, and they made my stay here and my coaching tenure very, very enjoyable. I think one of the greatest things to start out my baseball coaching career here was that we really were the second team to play on this field. Before my time, Philadelphia Textile did not have a field, so we had to play a lot of away games, and then the old famous John Boyce field up at the corner, you guys remember, we had our fall practices there, and then we went up in Roxborough and had our fall practices up there also, and had to play most of our games away. So when this field was formed in 1977, I believe, it was built, it was finished, Alumni Field. We shared it with the soccer team. At that time, I was also coaching soccer as an assistant, so we would have the field in the fall, and then our guys would practice somewhere in the fall somewhere else. But in the springtime was our field, and that was a real treat for us to have a nice new field, and people came here and enjoyed playing at our home ballpark. We also hosted some Catholic League playoffs at the time to raise money for our program, and it became a very good place to play. As I look out the window right now, it looks kind of the same with some improvements, but a lot of fond memories are on that field. When we first started out, I inherited a pretty good team, and we struggled the first year or two. But we had some good guys that come to my mind: Jimmy McGinley, Kevin Chatburn, Mike Bortnowski, Bill Bagucki, all those guys my first couple of years. George Toronto was a pitcher that had the heart of a lion. I remember one time he pitched a complete game with a pulled hamstring against St. Joe's in a big upset, and I know George will remember that. And then our program just started to move forward. We started to get the best players in the area, and our recruiting increased. And part of the success of our program was a group of players that I brought in that really wanted to raise money to go to Florida. Philadelphia at that time, University had never taken a Florida trip. So after my first year, as a matter of fact, even my first year we went to Florida, we got enough money together to go. But every year after that we went, and we raised all the money like players do now. But we had a bunch of guys that just ate and slept baseball. Dave Dominici, Dave Cochran, Billy McPherson, just some great guys. Tommy Grahowski, who ended up being a tremendous player here from Bishop Egan High School. And those guys worked, and they worked hard at raising money, and we went down to Florida and had some great tournaments down there. We went to Ocala, Florida. We won a tournament down there. I remember the one year we went 6-0 down there, and came home and had a real good season after that. Another time we went to near Orlando, Florida, at Wes Renker's place. That was with Dave Dominici's team, and we had a very good tournament down there, and came home and just kind of springboarded our season to be able to get that trip into our schedule and raise the money for it and really enjoy that ride down. We went in a bus, and a lot of great times, and played very well down there. Towards the end, the middle years were very rewarding. Again, our schedule while the time I was here, we never were in a league. There was no Division II leagues we could get into at that time. The soccer team was Division I, and they played in the Soccer 7. The basketball teams were Division II. They played a national Division II schedule along with some other leagues that did not have baseball. So we really kind of were stuck with having a local schedule of mostly Big 5 teams, but also teams like Westchester, and we would play some really good Division IIIs also. But that was what our schedule was. My last year, we had qualified for the NCAA tournament for the first time, and we were very, very proud of that. We won 27 games, I believe, that year, and won, maybe lost 8 or 9, but knocked off, I remember LaSalle twice, St. Joe's, Villanova, most of the Big Five schools that year. University of Pennsylvania we beat, and that enabled us, with our strength of schedule, to get in the Division II tournament. We played in MacArthur Stadium. Seems like yesterday. It was 1987. But we played in MacArthur Stadium up in Syracuse, New York, and that was the minor league ballpark for, at that time, I believe, the Toronto Blue Jays. I may be wrong. But we played a very, very strong New Haven team, and they just pummeled us. They were tourney tough, and they had been in the tournament many times. But we held our own the next day against University of Mass Loyal. However, we lost and we were eliminated. But it was the stepping stone for a lot of guys in that program that were very young. I had guys like Ira Prince, who became an All-American after I left. We had
Kerrigan, right?
Yeah, Kerrigan had not come yet. Kerrigan was a senior who I was recruited at that time, and at the end of that season, I left to go to Westchester, become the head basketball coach for the next 22 years. Even though I really hurt me to leave, because we had such a wonderful team. Wayne Irons was a pitcher for that team, and Greg Miller. They're all coming back to me. And a guy named Joe Kosha, who was a fabulous pitcher for us. Andy Halley, who I stay in touch with to this day, was a very talented left-handed pitcher. We had Chip Perkins. We just had a bunch of guys that really could play baseball and enjoyed playing the game. The guys over the years that I'm thinking about that played for me that I still stay in touch with are Pat DiNicola, was a third baseman for us in the early mid-'80s, and as I mentioned, Andy Halley. Carl Zive was a big right-handed pitcher during that time who went to Delaware County Community College. I recruited him out of there. Just a real talented guy and big, strong right-hander. Paul Levin was our catcher at the time. Paul had a very good career for us. So I would just urge all you guys that played for me, and you're going to see this, and if I'm sorry if I missed some of your names, but I think about you all the time to help Coach Horvath and get behind the program now. He's doing a lot of great things here with the program. I was here after I retired from Westchester for a couple of years. I came back to help Coach McGee, and Coach Horvath was hired at that time, and I thought that Philadelphia University hired a very, very strong person, and he's built this program. He's got his players in now. He turned it around last year, and the thing I like about the program now, which I wish we would have had, and you guys that played for me didn't have, was a league. They're in a tremendous league. It's a very good Division II league, and very strong and very competitive, and it's something to play for every day. Every year is a league championship, which is important. And you can get into the NCAA tournament by doing well in your league. So I think that's a great advantage to the program now, along with his work ethic and the players he's got in the team. I know a number of them. They're the type of players that you would like representing your old alma mater. And I would really encourage you to get behind Coach Horvath, get in touch with him here at the school. I'm going to try to help in some fundraising, so you'll be hearing from me about getting a windshield up for him in his ballpark, and helping things move around a little bit, move on a little bit, make things easier for him, because it's never easy when you're raising all this money and you're trying to coach too. So I bid you all well, and I'd love to hear from you all, and I will be in touch with you.